A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us today for this panel discussion on food safety, evaluating the dynamics in India. We have with us esteemed panelists Anurag Mishra, General Manager, Quality Assurance and Food Safety, Renuka Sugars, and Ms. Rakhi Gupta, Quality and Food Safety Manager, Whole Earth Brands. The idea that in the light of recent incidents, it becomes really essential to evaluate all the elements of the food safety chamber within the entire blockchain from the very bottom to the top to ensure that these incidents don't repeat themselves. Although the industry has made a remarkable progress over the years, it's essential to ensure that one, we avoid these mistakes in the future, and second, we improve the overall quality and functioning of the industry. So, for that, our panelists will discover and essentially run you down through the various insights of the industry and the various parameters that make the industry work with their background, expertise, and experience. So, I would like to start off with Mr. Anurag. So, Mr. Anurag, recently there have been a handful of incidents surrounding food safety in India. So, why do you think this happens in the first place, and what are some of the measures that you can take to prevent this? Mr. Anurag,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep. So thank you so much, Vesha, for the organizing this webinar on a very critical subject, which is very important these days. And just to start with, I mean, why this is happening? That is a big question. So the answer of why it's happening is just we are missing the basics. Okay. And in India, food safety is not seen as a must, it is seen as an add-on. Okay, so I'm taking you all back to your kitchen. What are the basics need to be followed? I mean, whatever food you're cooking, the place where you're cooking should be safe, clean and hygienic. First thing. Second thing, whatever ingredient you're using a good one. Third one is, I mean, the utensils you are using to cook the food is clean, hygienic, and good to use. These are the top three things you are doing on a daily basis at your home. Okay. So if I will add on because I'm talking about the kitchen first, and then I will add on why what else we have to add on when you are cooking food, when you are manufacturing food stuff for a bigger one. So I'm talking very basics. I'm not talking about HACCP. I'm not talking about risk assessment. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about very, very, very basic for food manufacturing. Okay, that is the first part. When you are cooking food, manufacturing food industrially, just add on good manufacturing practices and then add on some of the precautionary measure which is coming out of your risk assessment. That's it. And unfortunately, we are missing all these stuffs these days, and that is the reason you are getting frog in dal. That rat is swimming. I mean, inside the curry in Hyderabad. You are getting a chopped finger in ice cream. You are getting nut and bolts and then iron pieces in food and I mean, which has been served by airline to the premium customers. So that is the result. We are not following the basics. That is the reason. And what the precautionary measure I've already told you. Follow the basics. When you are, I mean, scaling it up, your manufacturing facility or uh, a kind of a kitchen, then add on good manufacturing practices and some of the precautionary measure which is coming out of your risk assessment of manufacturing that product. Having said that, every product will have its own risk. Some food are high risk, some food are low risk. Identify the nature of your food, the supply chain of your food, and do not forget the distribution part of it. You are putting 100% effort when you are manufacturing. You have good facility. I mean, following the GMP, you have done all the precautionary measure what is required to manufacture that particular product. But unfortunately, most of the time we are missing the second leg. And the second leg is when your cooked food is leaving your manufacturing facility, it reaches to the consumer. It has been transported, it has been kept in warehouses, it has been kept at the retailer store, and it has been, I mean, sold by retailer to a or a restaurant to a consumer. Okay, so that second leg also need a very clear kind of a guidelines, very clear kind of a focus by every manufacturer. So by doing the basics, adding on some of the technologies and whatever I told you, good manufacturing practices and outcome of risk assessment is the bare minimum thing which is required these days by anyone who is cooking food at kind of for 20 people or who are manufacturing food for 20,000 people. These are the basic people need to follow.
All right, thank you, Mr. Anurag. So, Ms. Rakhi, what are some of the current government interventions and regulations when it comes to food safety in India? Are there any amendments that companies have to adhere to?
Thank you, Priyasha, for organizing this event. So basically, in Indian government had introduced several amendments from past few years. If we talk about recently, Indian FSI just launched that mean it simplified the certification processes. Like now, the food industry do not require multiple certification. It only require one certification, that is FSCI, right? Earlier we have EGMARK, BIS standard, which is required for specific products. But now, if the manufacturer have the FSI certification, it do not require BIS and other certification. So it is a big relief for manufacturer for and it big relief for them to for in terms of investment and other things, right? Other amendments is like enhancement in the laboratories. Like they are opening many recognized laboratories. They are also increasing number of recognized food analysts, and this is a big help for the food manufacturer and industries. Other amendment is the updation in the food safety standards, like for specific products, for packaging, for labeling and regulation. Like the recent one is now manufacturer on the label on the back panel they have to mention fat, sugar, and salt in a uh, bold way. On that these kind of amendments is like mandatory for all food manufacturer, right? And like if we are, for example, a basic example I want to give. If we want to drive car on the road, right? So what we need a license. For getting a license, what we need to give, we need to fill the form, we need to give the test. In the same way, if we want to like work or open a food company, if we are currently working in the food company, what we need a system, basic standard, and a team which knows what to do and how to do, right? In that way we can ensure that our food is safe, and we and that's how a consumer our will be going to trust on food that companies and we are giving to them.
All right, well said. So, just to come back to basics, so
So I will
Mr.
add on,
Yeah,
Resha,
sure,
I will
please.
just add on a little bit. Whatever Rakhi told is very true. But additionally, let us, understand and really appreciate our regulators, FSCI, because they have done a fantastic job in a decade.
Yeah.
Okay. If we compare, other standards which are there in European countries or kind of a developed countries, they started their journey, decades back. 5, 6, decades back. We are very new to that. Having said that, the development has been done very significantly. The standards are there, SOPs are there. If you want to add on, the check sheets, what I was talking about, the basics about food manufacturing and food safety. Every manufacturing product, which is manufactured in India, you can have a clear identification which category it falls. Point number one. Point number two, whatever the basics need to be followed to ensure food safety. Check sheets, standard operating procedures. If you want to understand which kind of ingredient can be used at a safer level, every basic information in a big country like India, where 150 crore people are living, is already available. So, commendable job has been done by our regulators. At the same time, they are not only focusing on the big manufacturing houses, because big manufacturing houses mostly they are multinational companies. They have their base, they have their capabilities, they have their subject matter experts in place, so they are already having the standard which is built by their parent companies or kind of a headquarters which is obviously out of India. But in India, for small manufacturers, for a small restaurant, for example, for street food vendors, recently FSSAI has launched a kind of a very good handbook for street food vendors, and they are the most kind of a celebrated food manufacturers in India. If you talk about the roadside shop, pani puri, chaat tikki, whatever is there, I mean, they are serving outside food, which I mean, cumulatively it is more than 75% of the total consumption of India. Okay, yeah, I'm talking about the snacking. So, I mean, our regulators not only doing the bigger one for bigger manufacturing houses, they are really taking care of the street food vendors. Having said that, a lot to be done. I mean, in coming years, and I'm 100% sure that our regulators are going in the right direction. So, just want to add on to what Rakhi said. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Well said. So, just to go back to a different level here and to understand the very crux of how the industry works, Mr. Anurag, can you briefly explain the functions at the different levels of food safety blockchain in India?
Yeah. So, generally, I mean, there are five phases of any value chain. First, in you have to design the food product, design the equipment, design the plant, buying, buying the raw material, buying the services, buying the equipment, making, manufacturing, selling, and then listening. Listening is a part of, I mean, the consumer feedbacks, how your product is, I mean, behaving in the market. So, in all these phases, food safety plays a very critical role. Let's start from designing. So if you are designing, if you are, I mean, doing R&D of any food product, definitely you have to take care of all the aspects. And in that all the aspects, food safety plays a very critical role. Which ingredient can be used, what is the safe level of use, what should be the right quality of the raw material to be used and during that R&D, what should be, that is the part of your food R&D part. If you are, I mean, kind of, I mean, erecting a facility, what should be the right design to support the food safety quality? What should be the right design to ensure that your food manufacturing facility is hygienic? That will be given by the food safety professional. If you are designing an equipment, what should be the right angle where the liquid will be following? What should be the right angle where the food will be following? What should be, I mean, the right process of cleaning that particular equipment? So those nitty gritties will be coming from food safety. Okay, so that is the designing part. Then the buying part. What should be the right quality of raw material? What should be the right quality in food safety aspects of the packaging material? What should be, I mean, the barriers required to contain that particular food in a specific packaging material? So all those, I mean, kind of a perspective, all those kind of aspects will be, I mean, suggested and celebrated by this your food safety professional. Third part is the manufacturing part. Obviously, manufacturing is the most critical part where you design and when you bought the raw, I mean, the equipment, raw materials and services, then you are manufacturing it. During manufacturing, obviously, basis your risk assessment, basis your hazard study, HACCP study, you will be having some control points, critical control points, prerequisite programs to be, I mean, ensured, and validating and verifying all those stuffs to be done by and suggested by the food safety team. When you are selling it, as I told you, that the second leg of the value chain where you're done with your manufacturing and then you are selling it. What should be the right time and temperature to, I mean, deliver your food product? What should be the time and temperature to store it? What should be the basics, I mean, kind of good manufacturing practices to be ensured in your storage? Sorry, in warehouses. So similarly, I mean, to be similar stuff to be ensured when you are just selling it, and at the same time, during in the listening phase also, you have to analyze the feedback of the consumers. What is their feedback? Is there any food safety issue which has been, I mean, reported by the customer? The moment you will be analyzing it, and then you will be correcting from the designing phase again. So in entire value chain of food manufacturing, food safety professionals are required, and they will be required multiple in coming years. The reason I'm telling you these incidences which is happening in restaurants, manufacturing facilities will be triggering a bigger demand of food safety professional. Definitely, the future of food safety in India is very bright, and it will be required in every segment of food manufacturing.
All right, thank you, Mr. Anurag. So, Ms. Rakhi, technical excellence in regards to food safety is paramount in India, right? But with every intervention, there's a significant amount that has to be paid. So, can you talk more about some of the budgetary constraints when it comes to food safety in India, and how can companies essentially navigate through that?
So as Mr. Anurag said, mention all five basic thing: design, buying, manufacturing, selling, and listening. So when we are advancing our standards, system, and processes, so this requires significant amount of investment, right? So for example, if we when we are opening food for running the food company with we need certifications, different certification. We need to do the regular testing of the food products, the packaging material, raw materials, and we need certification on as per the requirement of our market and customer. And we need to give the training to our staff as per the requirement and as per the amendment is done by the regulatory team. So and if there any legal change and legal amendment is done, so we need to consult the consultancy, regulatory consultancy, legal team. So all these changes require some budgetary, and it makes some budgetary constraint, right? So how we can overcome and how we can take help is, first we can take help from the government, like take government support, grants, subsidies, low interest loans, which is which is mostly focused on the food safety part. Next is do the collaboration with the foods different food manufacturing side. Like now we have food mega parks, right? So everyone need to get some training certification. So it is better to collaborate with each and every manufacturing side and do one training common, so that they can divide the cost. In that way we can reduce the budget thing. Second thing is third thing is the using of the digitalization technology. Like if we want to get some training, we can use the digital platform. If we want to maintain our management and records, we can use the digital platform for compliance management. Other thing is internally we need to focus on our efficiency part, how we can improve the efficiency of the plant, how we can improve the efficiency of the line. And like for example, in if we are making any sugar beverage, right? In that we use sugar. So how we can uh, reduce the consumption of sugar, how we can reduce the loss of sugar. So in that way, if we reduce the loss, we can save some amount of money, and that money we can use in some other uh, thing, right? Next is if like we have existing preventive control, like we have ASAP, we have food safety systems in place in our organization. So if we can on basic interval regularly working on that, checking that are they working or not, on that way we do not need to invest on the preventive part, the kappa part, corrective and preventive action. So corrective and preventive action are some require some cost to solve that problem. So before that it is better to work on the preventive actions. So that's how the company can work on the budget part, and uh, in that way they can reduce the cost thing inside internally and with the help of government.
Yeah, so one more thing from my side in this part. I take this kind of a debate in a very different way. So there should not be any budgetary constraint. Why there is a budgetary constraint? That is the big question. from my side to all, because we are presenting quality or food safety as a cost center. If we have to achieve this, we have to invest that much of amount to ensure that we are following the food safety part. But in my view, if you are presenting food safety as a profit center, then this debate will be over forever. Let me, explain you from where I'm coming from. You might have heard there are 3 to 4 different dairy brands which are selling dairy products in niche cities and tier 1 cities. Okay, they are charging 20 rupees per liter, sometimes 30 40 rupees per liter also, and people are paying for that. You know the reason why they are charging 20 30 rupees? They give you a daily milk testing report, and that is a personalized report over WhatsApp to all the consumers. They are telling what are the different food safety tests they are doing in their milk to ensure that you are getting a safe milk. Having said that, why I'm taking example of milk, you can just have a look at the FSSAI's report of milk adulteration in India. That will be kind of a very surprising results were there a couple of years back. So people are paying it. And here, the biggest perspective, I'll call it Pakka. So, what I was telling ki people are paying these 20, 30 rupees because they are differentiating. Why I am paying 20 rupees? In normal milk, the some of the toxins level, aflatoxin, some of the, kind of a very kind of unhealthy kind of adulterants like melamine is found, and these all are life threatening. Okay, a high level of aflatoxin can just, definitely it can kind of damage your liver, and there are many adulterants, excess use of antibiotics, and that is the reason these all are food safety related issues. Those manufacturers, those startups, they are using quality and, sorry, I will be very specific about food safety as a profit center. Their differences, what are the differences they are, offering to the consumers, they are charging for it. So here the quality test, they are additional quality test of antibiotics, aflatoxin, melamine, they are charging that, and they are adding some of the premium to those tests, and they are, making food safety as a profit center, not the cost center. So that is in a similar way, we have to create a case in our organization. Whatever you are going to invest for food safety is going to come back for sure. There's nothing like, you will be just wasting your money. Okay. So whenever you are talking about, budgetary constraint, that's the reason I'm telling you, you have to, just think other way around. You have to tell that if you are investing X USD or Indian rupees, you will be getting a return of this. Sometime return will be subjective, sometime return will be objective. There's no doubt about it. But if you are just calculating your investments cautiously, smartly, you can identify, definitely you can define the return on investment. And when you are able to define or justify the return on investment, any organization, any company, any management will approve the cost for your food safety. Okay. So one liner just to answer this particular question, do not present food safety as a center, start celebrating or start presenting or showcasing food safety as a profit center. This problem will be definitely, done. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Anurag. So, Mr. Anurag, I wanted to ask you this question. So, this is particularly specific to your field and your expertise. So, there is a common misconception that after manufacturing and production, the food is safe to consume. So, I want to know what are some of the myths that people have around distribution and why you think that it's actually very important to tackle. You're on mute.
So again, I'll be going back to your kitchen. You cook the food, and if you are not keeping the food at right time and temperature, you feel you're going to get the good taste. Are you 100% sure the food and the safety of that food will be maintained? The answer is no. So whatever effort you have put, I mean, selecting the right ingredient, the right bhaji, right masalas, right cooking method, right utensils. And if you are not putting that final food product, for example, I mean, you are preparing food for your kid. Okay, you have done all the basics, all good manufacturing, good kitchen practices you are following, but you are not giving that food in a right container to your children. The container is contaminated. He is not keeping that particular food stuff at the right temperature because the shelf life of that food is only 2 hours, and you are asking him you can consume after 8 hours. Are you sure that you are not ignoring the right part of the food value chain? Definitely. Okay, so for example, if you are, there are many products. I mean, I will be taking two examples. One is the high risk, and second is the low risk. High food product, I mean, where the risk for microbial contamination and other contamination comparatively higher. If you're not, I mean, keeping that food stuff at the right time, right temperature, and the temperature is also very much important. Some of the food articles need to be deep freezed. People, I mean, feel if you're keeping in a refrigerator, the job is done. No, you have to understand the right temperature. That's what I'm telling you, right temperature and the right time also. Some of the food stuff, even you are keeping within the deep freezer, you have to discard it off. So if you're not aware about it, definitely you are going to create a problem in your house or when you are manufacturing food with that contaminated food stuff. Similarly, it is for distribution. If you are manufacturing food stuff like chocolates, confectionery, anything, bread, butter, whatever is there, if you're not ensuring that it is kept in a pest-free environment, if the rat is coming, it is damaging your food stuff, it is contaminating and same is getting consumed, definitely the side effect will be, I mean, there at the consumer level. Okay. If you're not maintaining the right delivery, the truck, which is whatever is what you're using, is free from any contamination, there is no any microbial contamination, off smell, bad smell. There are many contamination can happen during delivery also. So very basic. I'm telling. I'm not telling you that you should have a kind of a very fancy facility, very fancy. I mean warehouses, world class fleets. I'm not asking this. I'm telling during distribution quality, follow the basics like you're following in manufacturing or before manufacturing. This leg must not be ignored. And the final part is your retailer part. You have to train and develop your retailers also, because India, where we have a very kind of very complex market, the modern trade, institutional sales, general trades, and all. So if you are not training them, they will not be able to pass on the same quality and same food product with same safety to your consumers. So this leg must not be ignored. Please keep, I mean, improving continually, and definitely you will be able to see the difference. That's what I want to add on.
All right, thank
Yes,
you, Mr.
I just,
Anurag. So, Ms. Rakhi, this is specific to your domain. So, as part of the global unit, how do you ensure that all global standards are followed while shipping a product? And how do you keep that check on multiple food safety systems? Can you draw a small comparison between the global and Indian food safety standards for us?
so when we are like doing export, when we are doing export in to different countries or shipping any product to different countries, some points we need to note down. First point is to understand what is the requirement, what is the global and the specific country requirement, right? If, like for example, if we are exporting some in Arab country, or some countries who require some specific, like they need halal, they need kosher certification. So we need to understand what is their requirement and what is the standard they are following. Next is the knowing the what is a gap is current standard we are following, and the standard which they are following. So we need to do the gap analysis. By that we can work on what where we are lacking to meet the global standard, right? And how we can do the gap analysis? By doing the regular audits, like inspection of the sites. By in that way we can meet the global standard and maintain that standard in our factory. Other thing is maintaining the documentation, because documentation is very crucial when we are exporting product to different countries, like from sourcing to shipping. every document need to be maintained in a proper way, and because it is it is helping it for better traceability and accountability of the product, right? So these are some of the basic thing. On that way we can ensure that we are maintaining the global standard. And other answer to a question is, what is the difference between the local and our Indian standard and global standard? So globally, codex is known, like countries follow codex standards of their international trade practices. Other than that, GFSI is now has been, people like country follows, different countries follow their certification and the standards. Other than that, HACCP is also, like HACCP and other risk based program is also being followed in different global countries. In India, FSSI is the one which we need to like adhere. We need to follow the standard of FSSI only. And other than that, before that, there's BIS and ECMARC. So for the specific country, agriculture industry need to follow the ECMARC standards and rules. Now, after this amendments, we need to follow FSSI standards only.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rakhi. So we'll conclude. I have a question that goes out to the two of you, and then we can dive into the Q&A segment. So I just want to know from both of you and your different perspectives on this. What does food safety's future in India look like to you, and what are some of the paradigm shifts you think that we can have for a more secure future? And most importantly, are there any FSSAI amendments that companies need to be aware of?
Yeah, so just to answer the question, one liner answer is very good, very bright. And I've already given you the perspective. All five buckets will be requiring the food safety professionals. And the big company, the multinational company, they already have a very specific, a very kind of a defined structure of food safety professionals and department. But having said that, with these incidences, the regulations are coming, the regulatory body is really doing good. So I can 100% sense that the food safety professionals will be in demand in kind of a few years, and all across it will be in demand. So the future is very good. So any professional, any food safety or food tech kind of a student or any food tech professional, if they are working in any company, if you're getting any option and if you are aligned with the basics of food safety, if you have a good capability of assessing risk, if you have good capability of suggesting solutions, if you have good capability of understanding the control measures and all, please start looking into food safety, bucket also. Definitely, there are many things to come. And just to add on, yes, having said that, FSSI is really working very aggressively. They are really, talking to people. They are talking to industry in terms of amendments, and then I feel that in coming years there will be many amendments to come. There will be more add-ons in terms of food safety and related kind of requirements. So yeah, that's all from my side.
uh, I want to add this in this thing. The future of food safety is very vast. On the other one other day, some BTech Pani Puri wala, MBA Chai wala, and these small street food vendor are coming at daily. Some new restaurants is opening, hotels are opening, factories are like coming and emerging. So all these they are signaling towards the demand of food is very high. As we all know, that food is never going to we can have the end is nothing is there in the food. So for that we need to the demand, so the demand of food is high, so the demand of food safety is also high. So so how we can improvise our standard regulation, and for that we need skilled people, skilled food technologists. So collaboratively I can say that demand of food safety future is very high. It will be very advanced with technologies, and with help of some collaboration with globally and locally with FSSI. We will like the future is very uh, like interesting and curious.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rakhi, and thank you, Mr. Anurag. I think this was a wonderful discussion. So, with this, we can move on to the next segment, which is the Q&A segment, because people have some questions here. So, the first question is role of AI in food safety, as every industry opting for AI in their respective purposes and roles. So, I think this person would mainly want to know the role of AI in general and how can companies basically make the most of it. So, if you could just, any one of you could just take on that.
I mean, uh, Mohammed Asjar is asking this question. So, Mohammed, just to tell you, this meeting is being monetized by AI support. Okay, so AI support is there. That AI tool will be just recording the session, will be capturing the minutes of meeting, the critical kind of a moments of this meeting will be captured by AI. So AI is everywhere, and it will be everywhere. So I see there will be two or three aspects where AI will be playing a very big role as is in terms of risk assessment. I mean, currently risk assessment of the manufacturing equipment processes, whatever is there. So AI is going to play a very big role in terms of assessing the risk of any manufacturing. You have to give the input. You're going to manufacture this. These are the ingredients. So AI will tell you the known kind of devils which are there already in the global food manufacturing hub. You will be amazed. Definitely is going to amaze everyone in a couple of years. So I feel risk assessment is going to be the one part. Second part is the automation in manufacturing. I mean, automation in manufacturing will be, for example, if you're manufacturing a food stuff where critical control point is 78 degrees centigrade, treatment of that particular process, that particular food ingredient, at that kind of a killer step is 78 degrees centigrade for 10 minutes. If something goes wrong, what will be the repercussions? And it can give you kind of alarm till the time it is reaching to that particular point. It will be collecting the data. Definitely, you have to integrate everything to the of your manufacturing. AI can suggest you what should be the right kind of a control mechanism to be installed in any food manufacturing facility. The second thing will be, I mean, just analyzing the data. I mean, it can give you a kind of perspective that kind of precautionary one. For example, in the last 3 years, the rejection happens when this particular I mean kind of incident happens at the first stage. So if something is happening at the very beginning, it can give you a very clear idea that be cautious. You're going to have these kind of defects. You can have you will be having these kind of food safety incidences and all. So AI is going to play a very big role in terms of manufacturing, assessing the risk. Second part of AI will be again training and development of food business operators. Okay, so I mean in abuse, all the food handlers they will be trained by AI. Very good and very clear kind of a very crisp and clear kind of a training module can be defined by AI means sorry AI in soon in future. It can tell you about I mean kind of how this HPLC will work, how this training equipment will be working, what should be the right approach of cleaning the utensil, what should be the right approach of I mean assessing concentration of a any kind of sanitizing agent in a liquid. So I mean AI is going to just rule the world. But having said that, I mean AI is busy in many stuffs. This will be coming in food industry comparatively late than automobile and all, but definitely is going to come and is going to rock the food industry for sure.
All right, thank
Uh, yeah, I
you.
just want to add one thing. Yeah, this AI to record the real time data is already like in some of the industries, which is like big industries. They are also help taking help of AI for recording real time data, and for like water treatment plant is running by only AI. So all full automation and no single like supervisor is required to open the valve and maintaining the chlorine and other things. So AI is taking care of all these things. So that's how in the quality and basically for maintaining the production and quality checks, AI is helping like human, and like for the future AI is like it is in big industry now. In future AI will be in small industries also.
All right, thank you. So there's a bit of a time constraint also. So we'll take two more questions and you can decide whoever wants to take which one. So we have one question. How do we ensure the continuity of safe food handling practices during emergencies like in time of flood?
Okay. So for that only in food safety systems, there is a very defined process of natural calamities. You need to understand and assess the risk and opportunity coming out of that natural calamity. So you have to be prepared for that. I mean, every natural calamity will be having a different kind of hindrance to the business. For example, if flood is coming, you have to get prepared your business, your supply chain accordingly. If you are, observing kind of earthquakes, so the response will be different. If you are issues like any political protest and of any riots or similar, you will be having a different kind of a preventive measures to ensure the food safety and the business continuity. That is the reason there is a very specific, SOPs are there. You need to prepare that SOP. This is risk assessment. For example, if you have 3 or 4 manufacturing facilities, and if any one facility is very prone to flood, you need to understand if something goes wrong overnight, how you will be catering your business, how you'll be ensuring that your business is continued, your supply chain is not getting, impacted. That is the business front. For the food safety, yes, if your facility is impacted, the water is there inside your factory, definitely you have to stop the production. You have to do the thorough check of your raw materials, packaging materials, kind of FG or semi finished products. Basis your outcome of the assessment, you have to accept it or you have to reject it. I mean, you have to do the thorough assessment of that in your manufacturing. So for the business and for the manufacturing, you have to be 100% prepared for these kind of emergency, and that is the reason emergency preparedness is very important. Hope I'm making sense.
All right, thank you, Mr. Anurag. So, one more question. As we know that advertisements and media influence plays a major role for majority of our daily food decision. And from my personal experience, the awareness of healthy diet or routine is relatively less than promotion and ads of packed food, which is not safe if consumed on a daily basis. So, what are your views on that? So, any of you can take this.
So nowadays influencers are coming, and now not influencer, our government is also like awareing people on how on the healthy diet and routine relatively. And if you if you have seen the new book which is launched by NIN Nutrition Indian of Health, ICMR. So they have launched that booklet. In that, it is for the basic Indian people, and in that they have include everything: what should be a healthy plate, what should be a healthy meal, and how what is safe for us. And they also they also answer the myths that microwave is not good for health. They in that booklet they have also covered everything. So it is not only the advertisement of packed food, and this thing is is more. People and government and influencers and health influencers are working on that, and making people aware that health is the most priority for all of us.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Rakhi, and thank you, Mr. Anurag. With this, we'll conclude the session. So I thank both of you for such a versatile session and for making this a very elaborate conversation. So thank you so much. Thank you to all the participants for taking time out of their busy schedules. So an extensive coverage of this will be available in Food Marketing and Technology magazine. So we are a monthly B2B magazine and we consist of technical articles, advertisements on contemporary and relevant updates in the industry. So, in case you want to know more about it and or get access to the same, you can reach out to us and take a screenshot of the slide. So, once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day. Thank you.